Are here in Salon 215. We have Silu, Chef, Dave, Tori, and a special guest, Shanika, with us today. Let's go through like we always do. How was your week?
It was cool, busy. Everybody getting money right now. Well, my Corey Lewis, of course. Well, you already introduced me. But yeah, smooth. Keep calling her to get them TVs, man.
I need you.
I I got y'all.
How was your week?
It was cool. Yeah, just business. My girls is my girls. Everything cool. Just saying outside. No news, good news. Yeah,
Awesome, awesome. What about you, Chef?
Uh, my week was good. I'll never complain. I mean, every day I wake up, it's cool. You know, grateful. Grateful. Other than that, work as usual. All work and no play. That's what I like to do most of the time. Work weekend, do my time to lay back and enjoy, relax a little bit. So I'm straight.
Is it me, Chris?
Yeah, it's what I,
Oh,
it's
uh,
if it's your turn.
okay. Well,
It's
it's my
whoever's turn.
turn. Whoever's. Yeah. Hey, my week was like these gentlemen. I'm here today, so must have had a good week. Um, can't complain. Well, I don't complain. So there you have
What about you, Mr. Immaculate? Oh, yeah, ting.
it.
He's giving you a shot.
Nah, my week was plans. I mean, it is what it is. Oh, I am Business Salon 215. I have booths available, suites available, whatever you need. And then I'm also leasing the space out for podcast and I'm throwing in the producing also.
I'm offering you guys up to be able to ask questions. So, Shanika, if you just want to kind of tell us a little bit, maybe, about you, how we met.
Hold up, Shanine. I don't know your story. So, you, we had on I learned at the same time.
That's what I said. I want you
Oh,
guys
okay.
to ask
I thought you
questions.
said something else.
But he is. I don't need it back.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I did a very long story, but I'm happy. I'm 48 today. I'm still standing strong, and God's been blessing me every day. So, Somebody asked me. Oh, okay. I know. But it is my birthday. It is my birthday. Every day is a birthday. Every day. Household. So a lot of people don't think that 2 girls can really remember things that go on. Um, my mom hit me every day when I was 2 years old. Uh, Progressed every day until one day my dad got brave enough where he felt bad. It was a lesson when I decided to know that was supposed to be adults. They all was like, he didn't do that. Never do something like that. And I pleaded, I begged, I tried to tell them every day that my dad tried to speak his goodness. And yeah, down my throat. So I would watch my dad every day, literally bring my aunt, my mom's sister in to the bedroom, and I would peek through the peephole. Y'all remember the peepholes back in the day with on the old school doors?
Yeah.
I would peek through the peephole and see my dad having intercourse. When I was a kid, I didn't know what it was, but as I got older, I realized, wow, that's what my dad was. That out on my mom. He would beat her and beat her. My mom would leave, come back, beat her again, come back, beat her again. Until one day when I was 5 years old, he decided to beat my mom. And this day he killed my mom. He killed my mom right in front of me and my little brother. My brother he was an infant, so he don't remember anything, but he killed my mom in front of me. Seeing that blood, everything, I didn't even know what to do. We was in the house. All I know is to walk outside. I walked outside, got a neighbor. That neighbor came, called the police for us. And when I tell you, it's a memory that I can never get past. And when I tell you it affects my life every single day until this day, I try to let go, but that's the one memory that it's hard to get rid of. But I thank God for blessing me with a foster family that loved me unconditionally. Then when I left my foster family, I came to Dallas. I was blessed to meet Crystal that didn't see my flaws. Her mom, her dad. I'm sorry. It was a lot. I ended up having 3 kids by the age of 19 because what I thought was love was intercourse. Someone telling me that they love me, grabbing me, holding me. I thought that was love, and it wasn't. I ended up having my daughter by a 26-year-old, and I was 16. But because of the person that I am, I felt that he did no wrong in my life. To this day, everybody's like, he shouldn't have been having sex with you. But I was like, no, because, I loved him too. But it was wrong. I know there's a lot of young girls out here that have been through that. And y'all understand the pain. It's wrong. It doesn't matter how much someone tells you that they love you, they care about you. At the end of the day, it's wrong. I can sit here and tell you like a million times over what I've been through. I grew up in a group home, foster home. My group home wasn't even better. I was breaking out of my group home every day because guys was on trying to mess with me. When I tell you traumatized, sexually traumatized. And I just thank God today being where I am. And I'm telling you, I owe it to the man above. And yeah, y'all can ask me any questions y'all want to ask me.
But after that, it's kind of hard for me to dive in. I don't know about nobody else. It's kind of hard for me to dive in your childhood trauma had for you, and it's just hard to ask questions like that because I don't want to be.
No, it's not gonna
I want to
hurt.
be empathetic.
It's not gonna hurt.
I want to know things, but because I'm blind to the fact
Yeah.
of what you've been through, and you know, like Shaft, his girls are grown, his daughter's grown, but my partner, his girls are young,
Yes.
and you know, I feel your pain on for him just as much as anybody else because his girls are just like nieces to me also. So it's kind of strong what you went through, man. So when you say ask you anything, I okay, but at the same time, I want to be comfortable with my words.
I can just tell you this that
You say you ain't.
I can just tell you
that's
that.
some bullshit. You know what I mean? No, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know, as a father, I like guys, girls.
Yeah.
So you know, you hear that's some bullshit. You gonna be taking advantage of no damn kid like this. As a father, it piss you out that you know what I mean, that a man would bring up kids. I tell my kids, say something. You know what I mean? Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. We gonna figure that out. Hell no, and I'm thankful that you know what I mean. My family now, you do some shit like that in my family, somebody gonna be on your ass.
And at the same time, though, you're open minded.
Yeah.
So like you said, I tell my kids, tell me, come to me and tell me. I'm gonna believe it. I'm gonna investigate it. There's a lot of parents out there, like Shanika said, and people that don't want to see it. And it's been happening for generations. It's not just normally something that just happens. It's generational. But they don't want to see it. It goes back to what we talked about before about our business pays in our house. We're super private, so you didn't want nobody to know what uncle or auntie was doing, you know? So for parents out there, I think this is just one of those times where I have to say this: listen to your child.
Man.
I'm not saying listen to your child on every little thing because we know they tell stories, but if your child changes their ways or starts acting funny or starts telling you something or starts acting funny when they undress or you get them in the bathtub, notice those signs, pay attention to your kids. Stop allowing you meet Tony and you bring Tony into your house and he's watching your kids while you're at work and you don't know what's going on. Same thing for men that are single dads. There's women out there that, you know, touch little boys and touch little girls. So we just have to be vigilant. But yeah,
but I can tell you this, that it was a long journey because it brought up trust issues. I dated, but I never trusted anybody in my life.
The first time we usually let it go around for waitresses. And the first time I took Shanika home, I was getting ready to drive off her here screaming. And this in my heart, was like, I wasn't even immediately. And I look up, next thing I know, it's chicken wings, literally chicken wings flying down the stairs. Third flight, it's chicken wings and a loaf of bread. I should have been down there with a plate trying to catch it, right? Next thing I come to Shanika, her and Tom had a fight. And I didn't grow up seeing that, right? So
what did you think?
They was just throwing the chicken down and they was fighting and throwing whatever they could throw at each other. Just throwing
the whole
crazy.
Well, the whole purpose of it is that one thing I don't do is domestic violence. Put your hands on me, I'll go to another level that I don't like. I don't like
the way Shanika jumped in my car, and this is how you know PTSD is real. Jumped in my car and started laughing and said, "Sure, it'll be all right." Yeah, the whole trip. I just my whole trip. We down there. I was hungry, and that was. But you know, I realized that's how she processed trauma. And me and Shanika had conversations. We've been friends for 20 plus years. That's my sister. I don't even say friends. And we've had a lot of conversations about even just relationships with Shanika. I think, and it was all come back to her childhood. Just, you know,
Every bit of
yep, shaping.
trust, forgiveness, the word "I love you." I mean, I hear it, but you have to show me. Like saying "I love you." I heard my dad tell my mama every day he loved her, beat the crap out of her every single day, everything but love her.
Okay. So
So,
Nick, I got a question. So I think I'm a little more comfortable with asking. But your childhood trauma led to PTSD because we all deal with that thing. It's just a situation. What do you think may have majorly caused your childhood trauma that you have PTSD about now?
like sometimes if a guy gets too close to me, I'll flinch, meaning that let's say you come too aggressive.
Mhm.
Sometimes I flinch. I'll be like, okay, and then I get aggressive because now I think that you're coming to me in an aggressive way, but you might not be coming to me in an aggressive way. But all I know is aggression because it's all I saw as a kid was aggression. So it literally has affected me like my whole entire life.
Right on the girl. A
Like,
girl steps to the wrong way. Where
it,
the next one, you
aggression,
know, it's
anything
so she's gonna
aggression
remember that song I hit that.
makes me come
Say
back
what?
as aggression. Like I don't want to be like that, but it's like literally it's something I've been.
And let me say, good job.
I've been
I
working
know the
on it.
person.
I've been
I
working
see
on
it. So
it.
congratulations.
Just,
Whatever you're dealing with now, you have to have some type of understanding,
hey,
whatever.
that man can tell you that I don't put him through. But you want to know what? This is the only guy in my whole entire life, and I'm gonna cry about it because he's by my side. He didn't run. He said, I don't care how aggressive you be. I don't care. I see the pain in you. I see who you really are. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm 48 and only experiencing true love at 48. 48, and I done dated. And when I say dated, people that said that they love me, I truly know they love me. It wasn't love. It was. It's painful. You can say, and she know what I've been through because I call her crying. Hey, such and such. What should I do? And man, cheating. When I think it's a lot of people.
Um, but just like I said, as someone who's loved Shanika, I have witnessed every change in Shanika. We've been down through there together. um, but I'm very proud of where she is today. I don't try to tell her that often. Uh, when she does call for advice. And I try to give her the best advice. But people that know me and Shanika know we fight like a freaking brat. So it turns out being a I love you session ends up being well, you know, but if you be out, but that's how we interact. But Shanika, you know, and just even with the kids, like how is it, being a single mom raising she has seven
And,
twins.
and I can tell you this, I got a safe place. My daughter is my pride and joy. She has lupus. She's been having lupus ever since she was 18. Um, but every day she's trying hard to kind of like go to work, do whatever. But every time she would go to work, she would get sick. She would break down and she would end up in the hospital. So she finally got disability, but in 2023 was life turning experience for her and for me because she had three strokes, three brain surgeries, and multiple seizures.
We all do it,
If
man.
you see my baby today, you'll never know she went through. She walking perfectly. She's still working. She went back to work. And man, and I love her for that. I feel like she has my strength. I feel like if I leave this world today, I know that she can make it. She will be good. Yes. So,
I have a question for you.
mhm.
First of all, my heart goes out to you. You receive, your compliment. To them. My question to you is, years, even with being in the foster care and all that, what have you ever had any type of therapy, or it's just been mostly through friendships and friends?
I can tell you this. And you know how we are as black people.
Right,
Therapy is like, I don't need no therapy, this and that.
right.
So when I was in the group home, I did get therapy, and I got therapy from this white lady that told me, "Shanika, you got to do right for your brother. And you were all that your brother have," and that resonated with me. But it still wasn't the help that I needed. She did help me through some trauma, but most of my trauma, pain, and help been coming from my friends. I'm 48 today, and I can say it today. Next time I say it. I'm 48, and I kid you not, this is the first time I ever felt like I really need them. At 48 it has hit me the hardest at 48 than any other years.
Well,
Like,
and that's because the older you get, well, you're able
man,
to analyze your past, what you've done to it. And to me, that brings a valid point. I just call we as a black community, we don't think we need therapy. That it's just, it's cliche in the form
yeah,
of the help you get, and sometimes it could be, sometimes it's not. But in my opinion, therapy therapy is just speaking with somebody that you're comfortable with. So even if you're going through it, it doesn't even matter who you talk to. You just talk to somebody, because if you keep everything bottled up and you don't let that out and share it with somebody that you one can trust and call your friend, then that's what becomes a problem, and we never really address the issue, because at the end of the day, everybody I think is living and as an adult, at some point we deal with some type of trauma, and we don't recognize it as being traumatic until you recognize it. Because other than that, you just deal with it and you make the adjustment. But that's just an example of how it carries on in relationships when it comes to all that. And like anything else, when you don't know, what something is, the outcome of something, then you're gonna be standoff to the
yeah,
matter of something till you recognize it.
that's true.
A lot of people do that with relationships, because if you take that, we call it baggage, but it's really trauma. It's the same
Trauma.
thing,
It's
because the
trauma.
baggage, the baggage that's just what we call it, but it's really trauma.
It's
And the trauma leads to what your thoughts and the way you behave, and that's what's going to
Actions.
control your actions, your outcome, and how you treat that person or you stand office with that person. So that's just an example. I think we all have trauma we deal with it. It's that a lot of people don't share it. They only share it with you.
yeah,
If you don't share it with somebody that gives you some good feedback, then nothing ever changes.
yes,
But that's why y'all book it, and that's why y'all do that, because if it's they're gonna tell you what it is,
yes,
regardless whether right or wrong,
yes,
true or false. And then sometimes you have to leave and process that. And once you process that, that's when you come back to the top and say, "Girl, you know how I am, girl. You know I just have whatever, but I love you. I
yes,
appreciate you," because that's what it is. Because nobody, at the end of the day, wants to be told something that they how to do with
man,
trust and me. Trust, choose your relationship according to most of the time your past, or what you do. The idea of that, how the person is for you until you really truly find somebody that still stay there at the end of the day, because everybody
yes.
perfect.
Oh,
If
no.
there's one perfect man can't walk the earth, but Jesus. So
Hey,
when you come across somebody and y'all get into a relationship, a lot of times you ain't gonna really know what's going on until you avoid the flags, because some people don't want to be alone, or some people just want somebody to share it with. So my head's off to you and to your brother. good. It's good you do. And the last thing I want to address too is the age you said that you just found love at this age. Well, it's not. You're not alone in that department. There's millions of people out there that whatever they thought love wasn't that evil.
Right.
It's just that I'm glad you found somebody that
Just honest about you.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because a lot of people that are in big relationships, you look back, you're like, man, that was not love,
It was.
but it comes from.
Right.
Well,
Sometimes.
sometimes it is. Sometimes it's convenient.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just being comfortable. Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, okay. But yeah,
Did that cause a difference in the way you raise your kids because of what you've been?
It did. I was tough on my kids. I didn't want my house. I felt like the world was messed up. I felt like everybody in this world was touchers. I did. I really did. I felt like if my kids went over there and spent the night, then one of them kids might touch my child. Their parents might touch my child. I I stopped my kids from doing a lot of stuff. I thank God that they okay, but they never really got a chance to live life because of my life.
So you protected them.
Yeah, but
You probably did. We always as parents we gonna do a little bit too much.
yeah,
But I mean, at least you knew what you was protected from.
I tried. I
Yeah.
tried.
But do they know that?
I tried because I can go a whole nother story with them.
How old are your kids today?
My kids, my boys just turned 29 yesterday, and my daughter.
So they the bird they got.
But let me ask you this, because like you said, you protect them, but they
I
didn't know
tried.
what you tried to protect them. But with doing that, also you probably, like you said, you didn't allow them to be kids to a certain extent, or they didn't understand why they could spend a night with their friend. Not at the time that you told them that, but as of this date, do they know your life story and they know
Yeah, they know to this day, and
and they know why you do.
and bringing up my kids, my boys, and it's crazy because I try to protect my kids from everything. And believe it or not, all three of my kids have been molested.
Yeah, but that you can't control that.
All three.
You can't control that. That's not your problem.
Yeah,
It's
you
not your problem.
That's
Not your problem. Yeah, but that's I was gonna bring up one of that too. Say that it doesn't. Sometimes I think it's parents because everybody do what they think is best for their kids at the time that they do it. It's really no right or wrong way to do it. It's just what you feel. And most of the time, it's brought up on past and beliefs that you bring your kids up according to your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, what you believe in, we address, but at the end of the day, you can't protect your kids' life from the world. The best thing that a person can do it, and most of the time, it's easier said than like Stephen said right now. And a lot of people are afraid to that. I might be guilty. I'm sure I'm guilty at some point. It's just to tell them about the world and tell them, talk to them about what's going on, and then give reasons to why. Because even as a kid, their understanding is not. It's going to be different than what we see. They are gullible and they are not trained to dislike or discriminate. So they're going to want to go and see the world and do what they think
That's
their
true.
friends do. So I think the best thing that we can do with part in protecting them is just be real and be honest.
Yeah.
You know, according to their age appropriateness of it, but you can still break anything at any topic down to that level. And I think the more we share that with kids, the better understanding they have and the more respect they have for you and see the reason they're not just jumping mad and then going back, trying to sneak out and doing that type of stuff because you're not telling them that your mama gonna be weird. You know what I'm saying? They don't get that side of it. They only get what they want to do at the time. So I think that's something that will help.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So they took both of my questions. So I made up a new one.
I'm ready.
You ready? How are your kids doing with their situation as
Ugh.
well as your situation.
Yeah, let's talk about it because I want to be as straightforward as possible. Um,
We might have to have you back on the show.
my daughter, she went rogue for a minute. She was on drugs. She was doing a lot of stuff that she shouldn't have did. She even went homeless for a year. She didn't even have to be homeless, but she did it. My I have one son that he doesn't want to deal with it, but he's he has PTSD really really bad, but he don't want to deal with whatever happened to him in his life. And then I have another son that him being molested, he ended up being someone after I told him like what you felt, that's not what you want to do to nobody else. It's not a good feeling, and it breaks my heart because I taught him everything. I raised him the best to the best of my ability, everything. And I was a single parent. I didn't. They dad wasn't around, but I tried to bring them up. I didn't want them to go through the pain that I went through, but unfortunately, it happened, and it happened with my foster family. The family that I thought I trusted more than anything. My foster mom had a foster son that she adopted that was molesting my boys, but I can't blame him because the other kids on that street was molesting him. It became a cycle, a continuously cycle, like over and over again. And it hit my child. And when it hit my child and my child did it, I didn't know to be angry at him or love him. It took a minute. I'm not even gonna lie. Man, I was so angry. I didn't even want to love him. I hated him. And I hate to say it, but I did. I hated him because I was like, wow. I sat down with God and God told me that have you ever listened to his pain, what he went through? And you're right. I didn't.
I think that's
I didn't
it.
I didn't even hear the pain that he went through
People are quick to
because
judge,
I
not
wanted
knowing.
to, and you know how we are in the black community.
Right.
We be wanting to shut stuff out that shouldn't be shut out.
Right.
Did I deal with his pain the appropriate way? I didn't. Just like nobody dealt with my pain the appropriate way.
Well, I got to tell you this: it's a lot of times people in situations blame themselves for other things that's happening to other people, and it's not your fault. It's not. None of this was your fault. The molestation of your kids was not your fault. None of it is your fault. No matter what you've been through, it's not your fault. I don't want you to sit here and blame yourself for something that was gone.
I did for so many years.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and trust me, it took people like you guys to say that it's not your fault. Like, but I sometimes I be like, what could I have done different? Because I felt like I put my kids in that situation because I wanted to better myself. I don't know if y'all know what they think about foster kids. They say foster kids going to be drug addicts, in jail, prostitutes, whatever. We're not going to amount to nothing. I wanted to show everybody that it could be different. I moved to Dallas. I moved my three kids to Dallas with nothing, with my cousin. And shout out to my cousin Rita because she brought me out of something that I didn't think I could bring myself out of. She brought me here and I started working, but it was hard. Having three kids, you don't have nobody to take care of them. So I reached out to my foster mom and I said, hey, can you take care of my boys, you know? And then my dad, my daughter's dad, she went and stayed with him.
Mm.
And to find out later that that happened to my boys, I was so disappointed in myself because I felt like I could have got them sooner. And I blame myself because and she'll tell you I met Crystal and I could have got my voice back sooner. And I'm being as transparent and I'm gonna be honest. I could have got my voice back sooner than what I did. But I got caught up in the limelight of going out, partying, and just being free. And I decided to choose that over want to get my kids. And I'm being honest. It ain't no but.
It's
It ain't
yes,
no
it
but.
is and it isn't.
No.
Shanika, but even at that point in time,
It's no
mentally,
but.
we were both young, single parents. Mentally, luckily, I still have my mom and dad for Cameron. But mentally, Shanika, we was not. Even though you could have got the boys back, we were not in a mental state to be that we could be. It was doing too much.
In what age?
Yeah.
Early 20s,
Okay,
19.
well,
When
you-
it's 21,
well, that's what
23.
20. That's what 20-some-year-olds do. They
Right.
party. So it's not. You can't blame yourself because you said you could have got them earlier, which you could have, but that doesn't mean
That
whatever
the
life.
timing was right.
It don't mean whatever life had for you or had for them wasn't going to happen. Because at the end of the day, you left them where you thought it was safe. It was safe for you when you lived there. So
That's what
you but that's why you can't blame yourself for that because you can't help who was brought in and what traumas they dealt with and what stuff they had. It had nothing to do with you. It was just that that's what they had in place for their life at the time. But no, every 20-year-old, that's what you do when you 20, 40. You take them breaks. You gonna have you thought you left them in care with somebody that was gonna give them the same care that you gave them when you was around. And she probably did. She had no idea of what that kid because kids don't be kids at the end of the day, they gonna get into stuff they should be doing. It's just that what made yours hit so much harder because you had already been through that. So that doesn't make it right or wrong, but it just made it that more hard and that more for you to be that hard on yourself, but you shouldn't. Because at the end of the day, it's nothing you can do about that situation, period.
You
Because
made the best
you made the
choice
best choice
that you could make.
at that time.
There's a lot of women out here that would leave their kids to literally
Fend for
fend for
themselves.
themselves
Right.
at that age.
Right.
At that age, and where we were in life, you did the most unselfish thing you could do for the
Right.
babies.
With somebody you trust that you trusted at the time. And like I said, other than what you said for the kids she adopted, the life was good. So I mean it's misfortunate, that it happened, but it's nothing that you should blame yourself for because I feel like part of your healing is gonna have to come from yourself and understanding that yeah, you did what was best for you. I mean not what you thought was best, the decision you made at the time. And let it go. Because at the end of the day, that's all you can do because everybody makes choices in life and might have had a way different outcome than what we expected. But at the end of the day, that's what we thought we needed to do at the time. So part of healing, part of moving on in life, part of growing is knowing that, okay, I made that choice. I can live with it. Okay, I gotta forgive myself because at the end of the day, yeah, at 46 years old, you got a different set of eyes and you grow and you're gonna see it way different. So forget that 20-year-old, the 46-year-old gotta forget the 20-year-old because that's just a choice you made. You thought it was the best choice and it turned out to not be. But at the end of the day, it wasn't anything wrong with that. It's different if you left it with a stranger, left it with some dude you out partying and it happened there. It didn't happen like that. So part of your growth and part of your healing for yourself has got to be, I got to forgive me for that. I got to forgive me for that. And then telling your son that same thing,
You're right.
And once he say, oh, my mom, hear him out, you know, you do that, I guarantee you, he's gonna bridge a part of you inside and you that you never spoke on that, you never said that. Y'all are both. I think that's
Great.
just a twin. That's what we do. We both.
Everybody babies at 16. From 16 to 18, when you had to,
Right.
at 2021,
Right,
we
right,
feel like
right.
we were grown. And
Right.
we transitioned by the grace of God. Thank you, Jesus. We're still that she made the 48 and I'm making it to 45.
Right.
Because of where she was with her trauma, where I was with my own family trauma. When we met and linked up, boy,
It was unstoppable. It was unstoppable.
it was bad. But Shanika, and I told you this before, you never know why we're put on this earth. And I told you before, you are someone's testimony. You are someone's strength.
Every testimony.
Amen. There's people out there who have dealt with one, maybe the whole situation, maybe a part of the situation. They never make it out. They end up drug addicts. They end up, on the streets. They end up prostituting. They end up all these things. They end up hurting or killing their kids or giving their kids away. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't have that, and I will tell you this: that God has walked with you the entire way. He's going to continue to walk with you.
I just said
Every transition, God is right there, and He's going to be there. And I'm so grateful again to my bro for just allowing you to see that side that you grew up in. You grew up knowing that they loved you. Mom and daddy prayed for you. They loved you. You have been surrounded by love. It may not have been the love that you thought should have come from a parent, but you have been surrounded by love your entire life. You just didn't know what you were looking for, and it didn't come the way it looked like it should have came on a TV commercial, TV family.
Two things. Like, surround yourself with the right people, like the D was saying about it. Sometimes paying a therapist, they don't know,
Yeah.
like your friends know you. If people actually around you, if you can actually confide in them, they gonna be the ones that gonna be the real sauce. They got good sense anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll tell you, my boys, I call them people from everything from credit to life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can go down through there, you know what I mean? And I trust, their opinions of what, pretty much like my mentors at this point in life. But that's that. But your story or part of your story is more common than people like to put out. Because I don't want to tell nobody, but I know quite a few women that have been sexually assaulted at their age. You know what I mean? And some moms need their ass whoops, some daddies. You know what I mean? Hey, man, some of them, need an old school ass whooping. Firing squad. I mean, however you do it. But you know what I mean? It's more common than people put on. Like we don't play about ours. I've heard of it. Like, some of these family members they turn a blind eye. And they need their ass whooped too.
And that's what happens in the Black community. We
Yeah.
turn the eye and we be like, he didn't do that.
Respect the one who got the money, or you know what I mean, the one who liked the most out of everybody. Nah, it don't work like that. Nigga, leave these kids.
The same people that didn't believe me, my dad ended up molesting his niece. And he's in jail right now because of that. But the thing is, he could have stopped
Right.
with me.
Right.
But nobody wanted to hear me out. And I just want to leave this message for everybody that has kids. When your kid change their attitude, their position, how they're even acting, if they come to you and they say something happened, believe them. I don't care if that man is financially taking care of you. I don't care if that's the only family you have. Remove your child from that situation. Listen to your child. I'm not saying that every child is going to say the truth, but believe them. See if it's true. I mean, just listen because things can end up being where it traumatizes them for the rest of their life just because someone didn't listen. Because now that makes it to where you don't trust nobody. When I say nobody, you be like, well, if I tell them, they might not even believe me. And if I tell them, and it's somebody out there that they could have told it to stop that, but now it becomes a cycle. That same man molesting them. Now it comes another man, and another man. It just do what you can and listen to your kids.
I
Hey,
have one question for you before we close out. If you go back if you go back to your younger self, right, in your process, in your healing, what would you tell 5-year-old Shanique? What would you tell 16-year-old Shanique? What would you tell 20-year-old Shanique?
Ooh, that was my question. I'm sorry.
5-year-old,
Amazing. Y'all took all my questions.
5-year-old, I don't know what I do. I mean, being 48 until now, and I tell my boyfriend this all the time. I had to grow to realize that my mom's death was supposed to happen. As bad as it hurt, it was supposed to happen. if she did not get murdered, things in my life would have ended up being worse, including my brother, because my dad was a monster and it was no stopping. So I thank God every day that He removed me and my brother from that situation. As bad as it hurt me not having my mom, my dad, my family growing up, and I grew up in a foster home. I thank God every day for removing that part of my life from me. It's hard to not go back to it because I saw it. I mean, I saw the blood, I saw the murder, I saw everything. It took a long time for me to realize that that was supposed to happen in my life.
At the time all that happened, water on the inside.
And you know,
That way, yeah.
and the crazy part about that, when I graduated from high school, what age I was? I was probably like in my 30s. I went searching for my family
Yeah.
because I didn't feel like myself. And I felt like different. I was like, it's the reason why I act this way.
Right.
I gotta find out where my family is. So I did a DNA ancestry, found out where my dad's side of the family and my mother's side of the family was. I met my dad's side of the family. They told me that they tried searching for me, but they couldn't find me because I was lost in the system. That didn't happen,
Right.
you know. And I talk to them to this day, and I thank God for allowing me to meet them. They the ones that told me what happened to my cousin. That my dad molested her, and he ended up in jail. And then I ended up finding my mother's side of the family. That was the hard part for me. But believe it or not, her dad is still living in Fort Worth. My grandfather is still living. He's in Fort Worth. And I just told my baby today, I was like, I gotta go see my granddad. And you want to know the hard part about my life because my life has been so content around what has happened to me. I'm so settled with life that I don't even care about my family. And I hate that because I really want to get a chance to know them. But if they don't come to me, it's like if I see you, I see you. If I don't, I don't.
You have like no what they
I went to school. Oh, I went to a group home at 5, 5 to like 10. Then
look
from
at.
then
Yeah.
from 10 to like my I was in foster home.
Right. So you had like some of us we had our and all
Mm-mm.
that, so you detached from
No.
them.
Yeah, well, yeah. That makes sense
Yeah.
though. Because you at that age, you separate, you don't know them. So it's just like meeting strangers.
Yeah.
You know their family by blood. You don't know them, so it'd be hard to reach out and
It
try to
is.
connect.
It
And
is.
that connection can, but it could also be useful because you still get an understanding of this whole
Yeah.
you miss. But I'm not knowing them, so it would probably be a good thing to reach out. Especially for your grandfather, just to hear that side and
Yeah.
hear, just to get some of the story that why he's still in sound mind and things like that. Because a part of you, if you don't, when he passed, it's like the legacy stops
Man.
with that, and
Right.
you have no idea what
Yeah.
what life was for your mama's side. To talk to him might get a better understanding of why she there because you don't know her pain. You don't know why she stayed. Like most, like not most, but some women do when they get abused verbally and physical because you know, uh, you might get a better understanding. You might can tell you that, yeah, you might can close some of them gaps in the hole.
Start small. Like,
I
it's
found
like
out later that she stayed because of us. She was trying to hold the family together. Back in the day,
yeah,
they
but the
tried to
kids,
hold that
right,
family
yeah,
together.
What she did, what she
But
thought was best for
right.
her at the time, which ended up being worse for you, but you know, and herself if it caused her life. But a lot of times people, they do that. They think that their person is not going to elevate. They're actually the people actually elevate. The more comfortable they get, and the more comfortable you get them doing it, the abuser starts more abusing because it's working. They're mostly control stuff like that. So if you don't look at them signs early for you people out there, you young girls and you young women out there that still out here, you meet a person and you think the jealousy streak in them is cute
Mhm.
and it's a
it's
red
not.
flag,
It's
it
not.
only gets worse because in my lifetime of seeing and meeting people and dudes that's like that, they get worse. They don't get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it escalates. Well, because it's working. Their technique is working. Whatever they're doing, what it's just, even if it's not physical, it's starting out being verbal. At some point, it will start being physical because you ain't saying nothing about you're not telling the right people about what's going on, and it ain't stopped them. So they control. So that might get the cussing you out and talking to you crazy, and you're not doing the nasty thing. I'm putting my hands on.
to me.
Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Ain't no repercussions. So it gets worse.
But it
The word
started at home.
narcissist.
I want to say this: it started at home with the mom and dad. You gotta love your kids. If you do not love your kids, somebody else will love them. They're going to find it from somewhere else, and you're not gonna like the version of the love that they
Or
find.
just hold it together for the sake of the kids. And the kids, you think the kids, you guys are holding together the whole time. The kids,
Definitely. I was
Attention
trying.
in the-
Yeah.
I was
So
trying.
now them they stay in relationships after they need to because when mama stay, they stay, right?
I think that's love.
But that's what I said. Every person, male or female, needs to learn the word narcissist. Look up narcissism traits. If you see any of them traits, take your bag and run.
Yep.
Because a narc is a narc. They don't call them narcs for no reason. But a narcissist is a trip.
And the narcissist got to
They are the sweetest, slickest talkers in the world. Some like to call them a PIMP.
Well, you know, back in the day, that's not
Yeah.
much.
So that's why you got to go by action and not words. You can say anything.
Hey,
With love.
let me ask you this real quick. I don't know how much time we got left, but you're Randy. I know you get HE double hockey stick. When did you realize?
Yeah,
Exactly. Okay. How long y'all been together?
We've been together, what, 6 months now? 5.
No, it's still early.
So, but a week ago, I was like, I got to do better. I started talking to myself and I said, I need to start doing better.
Well, I'm glad you listened to
And
yourself.
and he been taking me to church every Sunday. So like today we went to church, and every time I go to church, the pastor speak on something that just heals me every single time. And I thank him for that because he makes sure that I get up and I go to church. He be like, "Oh, you go to church." Even when but every day has been a healing process. But kid you not, like last week I think we had that conversation and you was like, why you gotta keep being like this? And I was like, you know what, let me do better. Because if I don't allow someone to love me, how do I know if they truly do
And
love
believe
me?
it or not, brother,
I can't, I can't.
she called me. What did I tell you?
Yeah.
Stop. Ain't nothing wrong. Stop.
I don't like my
But
hand.
it's new.
Right.
You gotta do this. You gotta do that. And what did you tell me? What you found out about love? What you say? I think I found. I knew what genuine love is. Love unconditional.
Love and all wrong. Not just playing.
That was a couple years
See,
ago.
brother, understand. Like most of them, shit for a second. We understand it's not gonna come in a.
It's not.
We understand, you know what I mean? Hey man, we probably gonna pull more of the weight, and it ain't necessarily gonna be financial. It's gonna be in the other things or whatever.
Mhm.
And sometimes, you know what I mean, y'all women, y'all be hard on it. Y'all looking for the perfect or trying to put something in a way that fits you. When you got somebody who give a damn about you, you gotta do a little leaning. You ain't gonna break, you gonna do a little.
And you want to know the biggest words he kept saying to me? He said, if you're looking for somebody perfect, it's not me. And I said, you know what? I said, you're right, because I'm perfect. And I was like, sometimes I tell him, I'll be like, I'm damaged. He's like, quit saying that. You're not damaged. Every time you say it, you're going to live that. And I'm like, I'm damaged. I was like, why you want to love my damaged self? I'm damaged. He was like, man, he'll grab me. He's like, I love you, not damaged. Just
She needed
You don't
somebody who
want you
wasn't
to
going to be
wallow in it.
aggressive with her.
Yeah.
Because she's got
I'm aggressive.
she's aggressive. She gonna cuss that mouthpiece on her is gonna
I'm aggressive.
okay. you know, we have talked our way out of plenty situations from probably getting ready to knock a nigga out. You know what I'm saying? But for real, we standing
Yeah,
outside
I'm
one
about you
night and
for a
she said one thing, and the next thing I know, them Africans. What did you say? I am not English. So she got a slick mouth. So I told her it was gonna take somebody who was gonna be able to see past that. And I'm grateful. I've told you that before. I'm grateful. I stay on her constantly. She calls me with her wishy washy, and what do I say? Oh, you're not gonna want to hear this, but you just sit your ass down somewhere.
Yeah, but you also got to understand that you probably saw that. I see through it. I know that's a defense mechanism. So as a defense mechanism, you gonna try and run everything off that you don't think is supposed to be
Yep.
there. And if it's meant to be there, he'll still be standing, and that's why he's still
Yep,
standing
and that's
today.
why.
But part of what you got to understand is that the more you open up, the more you communicate with him, you got to allow him to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? And the same with him, because the more you open up to him, the better understanding he get of where you are in life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because that's gonna be part of the thing. Because it ain't just with your situation, it's with a lot of people's situation. If you don't open up and tell that person where you are today, they ain't gonna, they're not gonna be able to go through that journey and help in the right areas that they need to help you in. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we block things and we close people out and we only give them so much. So if you don't, the more they show you they worthy of needing more, you have to allow them a little more. That makes sense. Because if you don't allow them that access, don't mean you have to give your heart in the day, but you got to give them some information and give them something to work with. You don't give them something to work with, then how they gonna progress and how y'all gonna progress. That's why a lot of relationships don't work. We can't elevate if we don't sit here and talk about some things that might be touching to you, and you can't take my criticism for it, and I can't take yours. How we gonna even grow together? We can't. That's why they be stagnant, or that's why they never last.
Yeah,
that's true. Because that's just the way it happens.
One time I went to it was a couple of years, whatever. I'm open to this shit. I don't give a damn. Let's go. I'm gonna do it. All right, let's go. Get in there. She can tell the whole damn story. My friend has. I'm gonna tell the whole story. It was something minor. You know what I mean? I forgot exactly what it was. It was just something real minor. But the thing is, like you just said, if you don't be 100% open and honest with your friends, a therapist, whoever, they can't help you no damn way. Because otherwise, you just paying for somebody to sit in front of you and talk and tell them some bullshit.
Yeah,
that's all you doing.
And that's why they don't trust therapy, because it's really, to me, like I say, you don't have to go to a therapist for that. But I feel like as long as you open up and talk to somebody that's trusted. But the problem is, most women, girlfriends is their therapy.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't necessarily mean that they only get one side of the story. But when you go into a therapist or somebody that's not biased, then they get both sides. So I feel like I'm not against it, but I ain't necessarily with it either. It just depends on probably where I want to be in a relationship to feel like I needed that. But I just feel like you gotta, as long as you can trust that person's judgment and know that they are gonna tell you, give you the reading, even with women. Don't go to that girlfriend and gonna same dude. You can't just go, because I'm that dude. I always keep in for people. When my friend called me, I ain't telling you what you want. You call me and your ass wrong. I'm gonna say you wrong. I'm gonna say, no, you should have did that.
In a second. I appreciate it.
But that's the only way you gonna do a change behavior. If I'm messed up, I keep coming to you, you keep on here telling me then you ain't helping me change. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But a lot of people do that, and they don't. That's why I think the difference is, and that's why we got this student with the therapist. Like they don't know nothing. They don't know. They can't relate to me, but that's not necessarily true. They're not studying you. They're studying behavior. Right. So they're a biased person that's not judgmental. So they gonna hear both sides to help you. Don't mean they gonna eat you, but they gonna just whatever you a better understanding of what you got going on. Because a lot of times our trauma comes from the past period, whether it was childhood or just coming up period. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody at some point don't experience that. And broken people become broken adults. You know what I'm saying? So if you broken as a kid in your whole situation, every relationship you taking that same behavior into the next relationship. You
Well,
know
I
what I'm
wish
saying?
we had a little bit longer than an hour because this
Right.
has been a great conversation.
I
know
come
you
back.
said-
It has.
Yeah, I feel like we could have. I feel like there could be a part two, definitely, because there's still so much more that you could say and talk about. Again, I wish we had a little bit longer than that hour, but
No,
you about to say something?
yeah, counseling is good. It really is. I got a counselor, I got a psychiatrist, and a psychologist. So yeah, I got them all, and I need them all. I actually.
Well, but that's a good
You know what I'm
thing
saying?
because you have to know you.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
but you know what's best for you. But sometimes in some cases people don't. It's a good thing you do
Yeah.
because that helps you with your life and your day to day and your healing. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, as long as you can walk in there and say, I ain't kid,
Yeah.
and own it, they can help you.
Yeah.
Or somebody can help you, you know what I mean? Or I'm going through this, or you know what I mean, I feel this way, or why you think I feel this way. This you can't be just going in there and nobody. I mean, I'm a stickler
Telling
for
them
that.
half the truth.
Yeah, go in there and tell them half the truth. So they really just guessing on how to help you. Then when you get home, you pay $75 now. I lied to these folks. Now I feel better because she on my side. Nah, that
And
ain't how
that's
that
what
works.
happened every time.
That ain't how that
Well,
works.
we thank you guys for joining in today, Black Kings Conversation. This was a great conversation. I think what we took away from this is find a counselor, find someone to talk to. Don't ignore any signs, ladies, men, the same. And you guys have a beautiful week. Did you guys have anything you want to say before we get out?
Yeah, one thing. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
You're
Jason
welcome.
wants to say
Yeah,
Black
you're
Kings
welcome.
Conversation.
Appreciate you
Thank
being
You're
open
welcome.
and honest.
You're
And
welcome.
I commend you, man. It takes a strong man to stand by somebody like this. But that's cool. But you guys not gonna be here next week, Shaft and Crystal. Next week we got Legal Shield. Good friends of mine, Nicole and let me call your sister by name, Latoya. They're gonna come explain to us the importance of having it. We can talk about community all day, but see Lou as you got kids, whatever. This would be perfect for you and your situation where they can just press the button if they do get put while they're covered, whatever. That kind of stuff. So we're gonna have Miss Nicole and Miss Latoya come talk about that with us next week. That's next week, you guys. But hopefully the week after that we can do what.
Okay.
I
I'm a
think-
close.
Here's the fifth till I get off
I
air.
want one thing to say before we end up.
We
I wanna-
close. Oh, go ahead.
I'm a close. Okay. Did you want to?
No,
Okay.
okay.
Well, I want to say first of all, thank you for your story.
Definitely.
I hope you got something out of it. I hope you was able to get some of that stuff off your chest because sometimes it helps. Just, but I want to say a thank you for sharing, and I just want to say, if anybody out there, you're going through anything, but regardless, don't downplay it or don't think it's nothing. If it bothers you quite a bit, talk to somebody. It don't matter who it is. Just talk to somebody you trust. If it's that friend, that you can confide in and get the necessary help, because just talking about it, believe it or not, it relieves some of that stress
Yes.
that leads to some of that behavior that you want to try and change or control. You have to open up. That's the hardest thing to do is open up. So open up to somebody.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Black King.